Fellas, have you been farming Dares of Eternity? Well, I think it's time you should, because all of the weapons in Dares of Eternity have recently had an overhaul to their perk pools, as well as a new origin trait called Hot Swap, which states that after taking damage, switching to the weapon that has this perk will increase its handling. By the way, this origin trait can be procced by any amount of damage that you take. You don't have to be critical health in order for that perk to proc, so even if a single bullet hits you, your handling stat will greatly benefit. But back to the weapon rolls. We've got a new selection of perks like Pugilist, Gutshot Straight, and even Incandescent present on these Dares of Eternity weapons. We're going to touch more on these in our individual weapon reviews, and yes, we will be reviewing all of these, but for the time being, I want to go over a guide on how to farm these rolls, as well as how to work toward unlocking the enhanced traits for each of these, as yes, these weapons are also craftable. So I don't know if you actually played Dares of Eternity back last Christmas when it first launched, but now is the time to jump into that playlist. By the way, just a quick warning here, some rolls from the previous seasons didn't make the cut, so hold on to those weapons if you'd like the old perk combos. With that being said, let's get into today's video and our comprehensive guide on how to farm the Dares of Eternity playlist to increase both the speed at which you acquire Redbox versions of these Dare weapons and whatever desired random rolls you may want. Now, most of you are going to be farming for the BXR. This is essentially the battle rifle, but in Destiny form. I'm currently sitting at 4 out of 5 for the pattern. I should have 5 out of 5 here pretty soon, which will allow me to craft that perfect god roll. But unlike Wellspring, where you could play the activity on a specific day to target farm the weapon you wanted, all of the Dare weapons are in the same pool, meaning you're going to need to optimize your runs and have really good RNG to get the weapons that you want. So first, let's start with how to get Redbox Drops, aka Deepsights. By the way, you do not have to level up each Deepsight weapon in order to obtain progress toward its weapon pattern. You can literally break it down and dismantle it the moment it drops. You will not get 200 neutral elements, you will only get 100. The good thing is though, you don't have to waste time leveling it up. Now, the best source of Deepsight Dares weapons is actually from Xur's treasure hoard. In the front of the room, there's a treasure chest that can only be opened with treasure keys. You can earn treasure keys from Starhorse bounties, as well as completing Dare of Eternity runs. Now, these bounties can be purchased directly from Starhorse with strange coins. There are 3 dailies, as well as 2 weeklies. Now, you can only hold 1 at a time, but they all grant Paraversal Halls upon completion. Weeklies give 2, dailies give 1. Now, these Paraversal Halls can grant anywhere from 0 to 3 keys per. So they are actually, honestly, in my opinion, the best. Even if you only get 0 in a single Paraversal Hall, they cost less and they have the chance of giving you 3 keys. Like buying a single treasure key costs 10 versus buying a Paraversal Hall costs 7, but you have the chance of that Paraversal Hall granting you 3 keys. So I do recommend always going with the Paraversal Halls. And overall, through our testing, we got way more keys through purchasing Paraversal Halls than just outright purchasing keys. I know it's still RNG, but in this case, it works in our favor. Now again, you're gonna take those keys and actually turn them in to Xur's treasure hoard, and it will consume 1 key at a time. And throughout this process, you will get Deepsight weapons. It's still based on RNG, but it will drop. The sad part is there's really no way to target loot a specific weapon. So yeah, you're gonna be spending a lot of keys, which means you're gonna need a lot of them. Which takes us to normal versus legend Dares of Eternity. Which one of these is the most efficient when it comes to treasure keys, as well as the loot that we get from the playlist itself? Now, I've heard a lot of arguments on both sides, and in my opinion, it depends. If you're playing solo, honestly, run normal mode. You'll finish each game faster, the enemies aren't as difficult, and you'll be still getting a treasure key per completion. On top of that, you'll still be able to complete all of the Starhorse bounties except 1 in normal mode, as one of them does require you to play legend. So if you're looking for more of a casual grind, then just do normal Dares of Eternity. However, if you like me and you just like it harder and faster, then the legend Dares of Eternity playlist is the play. You will need a full team to knock out these runs as efficiently as possible, but guys, this is by far the best way to go. And we're gonna go over the best Dares of Eternity loadouts in just a moment. You cannot earn the Dares weapons by completing the base activity, and if you can, the drop chances are just incredibly low. But you can earn the weapons if a lightning round is added at the end of your run. Now, these lightning rounds are like bonus rounds. They happen randomly. They grant 3 extra chests on top of a chest that you normally unlock after a base completion. And this can happen in both normal and legendaries, but it is much more common in legendaries and significantly less common in the normal version of Dares of Eternity. Bungie also specified if you play, quote, efficiently, it increases lightning round odds. Now, after lightning rounds, the weapons that drop do have a chance of being a red box, and I did get one from one of those lightning rounds. Granted, treasure keys is still the most optimal way of getting a chance at a red box weapon. Personally though, normal Dares of Eternity is kind of a snooze. Legend is more engaging, it's much more fun, and with the Starhorse favor where you're getting unlimited heavy, guys, it's not that difficult. On top of that, the lightning rounds also grant you more keys, more strange coins, which means more chest openings and more Paraversal Halls back at the treasure hoard. Now, before we move on, I do want to give a quick overview of the full gameplay loop here. First, buy a Starhorse bounty. Second, run a normal normal or legend Dares of Eternity. Third, upon completion, open up Paraversal Halls and then go to the treasure chest in the treasure hoard and turn in your keys. Rinse and repeat, at least until you run out of Star Horse bounties. Now you can start to hoard strange coins and treasure keys after you completed the bounties, since you no longer need to go back to Star Horse. But keep in mind, there are caps on these materials. Strange coins have a cap of 30, treasure keys have a cap of 21. So if you're sitting there like just accumulating a bunch and you're like, yo, I'm getting all these keys, you may not be if you're already at the cap. So again, visit the treasure hoard, turn them in, empty out that inventory. Now, tips and loadouts. Now that you know which playlists you should farm, let's talk about loadouts, as well as tips for easy, fast Dares of Eternity runs. First off, when leaving the first encounter, you want to walk backwards through the chute that flings you into the cliffside. This will cause your momentum to carry you over the spinning wheel and fall straight in the obstacle course that grants Star Horse favor if you don't fall. Favor gives you heavy ammo regeneration for the entire round. So honestly, you can run things like Galahorn, Xenophage, or pretty much any heavy you want that's not disabled by Bungie for the entire encounter with pretty much unlimited heavy. You can even pair this with reload mods or even reserve mods. You don't need scavenger mods because they don't really benefit you here, and you're gonna have little to no downtime and heavy ammo. Now, after completing the second encounter, you will have 3 plates at the front of the room that each lead to one of the final rounds. Now, if you're playing in normal mode, it's random. So you're gonna have to spread yourself out amongst 3 plates and really just do 2 people per plate. So at least 2 of you will have infinite heavy. But if you're playing on legend and you have a coordinated team, the whole activity is on a set rotation. So each week you'll be able to be in the same final room. Have your team stand on the correct plates and everyone will have infinite heavy ammo in that final area. Now, I will say this, at the time of writing this video, Arc Resilience is still bugged for Warlocks and Titans. So you probably still want to run another class for survivability. Granted though, who cares about surviving? I like Arc 3.0, YOLO. Now, there are also champions in both the normal and legendary, so I recommend either running champion mods on your primary and special weapons of choice or just nuke them with Galahorn. Both will work. Other than that, well and shutdown supers perform the best in this activity, guys. Always feel free to run a support class, kill waves of ads, and melt bosses. Those are your 2 primary goals for getting through this activity quickly. We actually just put out an Arc Titan build that we were using to grind Dares of Eternity on Legend, and it was performing amazingly. Even with Resilience being bugged, this build was absolutely melting. Guys, feel free to check that one out. It's our Lord of Thunder build. It takes advantage of storm grenades, which is doing a hell of a lot of damage. We'll have a link to that in the description below. Now, even if you don't get many red boxes, I think it's still worth going after these weapons, especially some of the new roles and traits present on them. We're going to be putting out reviews on each one of these weapons, especially when we get the enhanced versions of them. But if you're looking for just an overview to the weapon roles for all the Dare of Eternity weapons, a video will be out later going over random roles for everything from raid weapons to the seasonal weapons, the core playlist weapons, as well as Dares of Eternity. That will be out later. It will be a very long video, like almost an hour long, but it's a detailed overview of pretty much every weapon. So if you don't want to miss that, feel free to subscribe. Well, guys, let me know in the comments below if you have any other means of efficiently grinding for these weapons. They're definitely worth going after. BXR especially, considering lightweight pulses got a buff last season and is also one of the best lightweight pulses, if not one of the best pulse rifles in the game. And with enhanced traits, it's only going to get better. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.